All right, everybody. Good morning. My name is Danielle, and we have Amy there as well. We work in the financial aid office here at Trent. So, we're going to chat with you about financial aid, so scholarships and bursaries, and OSAP for domestic undergraduate students. So, like I mentioned earlier, we do not chat about international financial assistance or assistance for master's or graduate students. They have their own departments and their own scholarships and bursaries and awards. Um, so we will go ahead and get started. Sorry there. Nope, nope, nope. I am trying to mute that, Tiffany. Ah, mute. Nope. Hold on. I'm sorry, technical. Hold on. I thought I had that muted. It said to mute participant. Mm, I'm not sure, Tiffany. I can't find that to shut it off, but I'm sure it'll stop here in a minute once everybody gets settled in. Yeah, I'm not sure. I tried to shut all those notifications off. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen and we're going to get started here. All right, just waiting for. I'm having a little droggy, little Saturday morning hard times here. So let's get started. So again, Danielle, I'm going to chat with you about funding your education here at Trent. We'll talk about financial aid, how much does university cost, as well as how you can afford that. So I'm going to give you some big scary numbers and then show you how to get some assistance so that you can get studying here and pay for your education. Having difficulties. Oh my gosh. Okay, so who are we? Like I mentioned, I am Danielle. That's Amy. We're the financial aid office. We do out of our office, we're the money people. So we would be the people you come to talk to about scholarships, about bursaries. You would also come talk to us about OSAP. We work with band funded students, and we also work with work study programs. So work study programs, there are jobs reserved on campus here at both our Peterborough and our Durham campus that are reserved for students that are in receipt of financial assistance, so OSAP. And those jobs, they pay about $2,000, but the benefit to those jobs is they are on campus and it's a flexible schedule. So you have to work about 10 hours. Most departments might be quite flexible with it. In our office, we have quite a few that come in and work in our office. We are flexible. We understand that academics come first. So that means if that week we want your 10 hours, but you have some exams or some assignments that you need to focus on first, then you would work that out with the departments. The bonus to them is it is great to get on your resume. So if you are a chemistry major and there is a position in that department, you're getting all of that hands-on experience. So it's all going on to your resume, which is super awesome. And you're making connections. So that's the other bonus too. Okay, next. How much will it cost for your first year? So this is what we're looking at. This is the cost for the 21-22 academic year here at Peterborough. Like I mentioned, it's undergraduate numbers, so not international and not master's or graduate students. You can see the tuition is for full-time students. So that means you're taking 4.0 credits or more at our Peterborough campus, and it's $6,100. Your fees, $1,450. That includes your athletics, your campus card, your health benefits. All of that falls under the fees portion. You have your books and supplies. We estimate $1,300, but again, it really depends on what program you're in. If you're in our nursing program, you may notice that some of the books are a little bit more than that, but you can chat around, buy used books, talk to the student association. Some students will sell their books through them, Facebook, all of these are great opportunities to save some money on your book costs. The biggest expense that you're going to have going to school is where are you going to live? So you're either going to live at home and commute, or you're going to live away from home. So we do have an estimate there for both, because if you are living at home, we expect that you're going to be contributing in some fashion, whether it's you're buying your own groceries or you're paying your cell phone bill, gas, those kind of things. Or if you are living away from home, you'll have rent expenses, or maybe you're staying on residence. So this is some of the big things that you have to consider, is how to save money, because you can see if you're studying full time, that can range from 13,000 up to almost 22,000. So if you're considering residence, you may want to look, and do you want one roommate? Do you maybe want to live in an annex where you have 3 or maybe 4 different roommates and you're sharing a space? What's the difference? Do you need a premium room? But definitely consider all of that, because it is a big expense and you want to make sure that you're planning ahead for it. I can tell you from an OSAP perspective, OSAP is not designed to cover the full cost of residence. But what it does is help supplement that cost, but you're still going to need to come with some extra savings to make sure that you can pay all of those costs down. In regards to tuition, there's not much wiggle room there to save. If you're a full-time student, you're a full-time student, but you want to be mindful if you're paying per credit. Our Oshawa campus works a little bit differently in that regard. For fees, one way to save there is if you have health benefits through your parents, you can opt out of Trent's health benefits. So you would do that in September, and you would talk to the student association. They have an application for that. So you could possibly save $300 that goes maybe towards residence or books or groceries or gas. But a savings is a savings. Books and supplies, like I mentioned, look for opportunities to buy your used books. So if you can save some money that way, getting a $200 book for $75, you just saved $125 that can go towards food, groceries, and such. And the big one there, preparing food and coffee at home. Amy and I, we both pack lunches. We're commuters, so we know we have gas expenses. We don't park on campus, so we save money that way. You want to be mindful of that if you are going to be driving. Check and see, does the campus have free parking, or do you have to pay for parking? How much is gas, your insurance? These are all things that you got to start to think about when you're coming. Preparing your lunch and your coffee, if you are a big Starbucks fan and you're spending, $5-6 on a cup of coffee, you may not want to do that so much when you have rent and utilities and such to pay. So just some the big numbers, but some tips on how to save some money as well. To afford coming to school, you want to try and fund as much of your education as possible with free money. So the scholarships, bursaries, and such. Right now, you can go and jumpstart an OSAP application. If you've already applied to colleges and universities, you would have seen an OSAP link. And what that does is pull that information into the OSAP application and jumpstart it. The application itself won't open until the summer, but you'll have all of that tombstone information there. Next opportunity here at Trent is our prestigious scholarship application. That is open through the My Trent portal under the Finances tab. It stays open until April 1st. Then you have scholarship offers going out. Those will start in March, so not too pretty soon. We'll start sending those out. And some of you may have already had some being told that you're tracking towards, but that's free money based off academics. We have an entrance bursary application, which is for students in their very first year at Trent. So you only get that opportunity to apply for that one on your first year. During the summer, you're going to start looking at external awards, a summer job, TWSP, that's our work study program. And you're going to start saving money. And then when you are here at Trent, we have our bursary applications. So you would apply for free money from Trent through your My Trent portal. And I will show you that next. Whoops. There we go. Yes. Okay. So our entrance scholarship program, I'm telling you, I'm having technical issues with the laptop today. It's a lot for a Saturday morning, and I've just finished my coffee. So, our entrance scholarship program, you've probably heard about our scholarship program. It's a renewable program. There's no application to be considered for our entrance scholarships. They are based off of your admission average. So we're looking at your top 6 4U 4M level courses if you're coming from high school. And like I mentioned, it is renewable for up to 4 years of undergraduate studies. So in order to renew your scholarship, you just have to achieve an 80% over 5 Trent credits, so over the academic year, and you're automatically renewed for the following year. We do all of that in our office. So what you can see on the left-hand side is our scholarships start at that 80% at $1,000, and they go up from there to $3,000. The bonus there is the higher your admission average. So let's say you have a 93, you get 2,500. I only want you to get an 80% to renew it. So yes, you had a 93 to get the 2,500, but you only need an 80 to renew for the following year. And like I mentioned, that happens all in our office. So there's no application. So right now, if you're on that cusp, you got like an 88, maybe an 89, maybe you need to do some extra assignments and boost up that average so you can get to the next level. Our prestigious scholarships, these are our higher valued scholarships. So they are application based. You can apply for this one online through the MyTrent portal currently. It is open until April 1st. We then take all of those applications, they get presented to a committee, and then we select our winners. About 14 of these are awarded. You can see they start at $3,750 and they go up to $5,000. They follow the same program. So they renew each year. You have to complete 5 Trent credits with an 80% or higher, and it automatically renews for the following year. The reason we ask for an application with these ones, because they are higher valued, we look at more than just academics for these ones. So we're looking at your merit, your extracurricular, your volunteer experience. So more of a package. You get to kind of brag about yourself in that application. If you're looking at the Board of Governors, well, then you're going to want to talk about your leadership roles. And that's the information that you would put into your application. So if you want to be considered for them, you can go ahead and apply. If you get one of these, you can't have an entrance scholarship, but you can apply for this to be considered. And if not, then you know you're eligible for the other one. Okay, so scholarships, free money based off of grades. And I am going to rush because we only have you for half an hour and it's really hard to cram it all in there. So our bursary program is money from Trent. It's based off of financial needs. So that typically means you got to be in receipt of OSAP, out of province funding if you're coming from another province. And you have to complete the application online to be considered. We have several opportunities for students. So you're coming, it's your first year. Our entrance bursary application is your very first opportunity to apply for free money from Trent. And it will open in June and it closes the end of July. And you would get a notification through your MyTrent portal. It ranges from 500 to 1,000. We have seen it go a little bit higher, but that's your first chance for the free money from Trent. So bursaries, you don't have to repay because they're based off of financial need. Once you are here at Trent, we have our in-course bursary program. So we launch our bursary application at the start of every term. So fall, winter, and summer if you choose to study online through the MyTrent portal. And it honestly should only take you maybe 5 minutes to complete any of these applications. We have 300 to 400 different bursaries. We have some very generous donors that donate to Trent for this program. You don't have to know any of them. You just have to apply and our office will try and match you up to them. So those bursaries range from $100 to $1,000 and sometimes go a little bit higher as well, depending on how much funds we have. If you're coming to us from a City of Peterborough high school, you can apply for a City of Peterborough award. So this is awarded to the top 2 students coming from each Peterborough high school. So if you are at Crestwood and you're coming to Trent, this is what you would apply for. It opens in June, closes the end of July, and it's $2,000. So even if you're not sure, maybe you think that you know some other people from your school are going and you're hesitant, make sure you apply because sometimes we don't get kids from Crestwood or from Kenner applying to these, or we only get 1 or 2. And if you're one of those 1 or 2, it's $2,000. The last bursary there is the first generation or Indigenous student bursary. Those are ministry bursaries. So we get funding from the ministry to then award, and we post that application in January. So through the My Trent portal in January. Okay, so deep breath. We did scholarships and we did bursaries. So that's money from Trent that you don't have to repay. Scholarships based off of your academics and bursaries based off of financial need. OSAP. So we normally have an hour to go through some of this stuff. So it is going to feel like I'm giving you a lot of information, but do pop things into the chat and you can always email us afterwards. So let's chat about OSAP. OSAP is the Government Student Assistance Program. So it is for Ontario residents. You've probably heard the word before, OSAP. Your parents maybe had it. It's an ever evolving program. I had it when I went to school. It's not the same at all. It is forever changing every year. The amount of funding is based on a number of variables. So it's not just parents' income. They're looking at a much bigger picture. Parents' income, your income, how many kids, what school are you going to, your tuition costs, all of that is considered in there. So it's a much well-rounded assessment. It is a combination of loans and grants, both federal and provincial. Grants being money you get to keep, so you don't have to repay them as long as you stay in good standing, you pass all of your classes, your grants will remain grants, and that's your free money from Trent, or not Trent, from OSAP. The loan portion is the portion that you do have to repay, but loans don't have to be repaid until after you finish your studies. So 6 months after you cease to be a full-time student, and all of that information gets relayed to you through National Student Loans. What you're seeing on the left-hand side is the aid estimator. Again, it's an estimator. So you can go and tinker with that a little bit to kind of get a general idea of what your OSAP is going to look like. But we actually recommend doing a full OSAP application. The estimator is that we can't see that in our office. So if you contacted us and said you did an estimate and the number looks out of whack, Amy and I can't see that. So the best thing to do is a full OSAP application, let it run its process. And then if it looks like it's not quite accurate, contact our office. Amy and I can then see that full application and troubleshoot it better for you to see if there's any questions that maybe were answered incorrectly, or if there's an appeal that can be done. But do the whole application. You don't have to take it. You can close it. So let it do its thing, and then we can better troubleshoot it for you. The link to OUAC, this is what I mentioned earlier. So if you've applied to colleges and universities, you can actually take all of that information, pull it into the OSAP application, and it jumpstarts it for you. It'll populate the school, the program, the start dates, all of that will be in there, as well as all of your information. So your name, your date of birth, your social insurance number, all of that will pull in, making it a whole lot easier for you when you go to do the OSAP. The perk to this as well is the OSAP application won't open until probably early May. Once it does, you're already registered. You'll get an email telling you to now go in and finish your apps. And you can finish an app for every school you're considering. So you don't have to accept your offer to any school to do your OSAP application. So if you're not quite sure where you want to go, do the OSAP application for every school. Every school has their own OSAP. So you can't do one that's for Trent and Durham College. You would do one Trent and one Durham College, one Sir Sanford Fleming. Those, each school owns their own, and we can't see each other's either. So you would talk to each school, but definitely do the link. It's worth it. Oops. Again, it's doing its thing. So very quickly, you can see that the OSAP application is 4 steps. If you did the first one and you did that link, you've already done step 1. You already pulled in a lot of that information, the school and the program. You also did part of step 2 because you pulled in your name, your date of birth, all of that. But step 2, there is more to it. There's going to be more questions about you. So it should be a pretty easy section for you guys to fill out. If you're coming straight from high school, you're considered a dependent student. Your parents' information is going to be on there. You can see some sample questions there. When did you last go to high school? Do you want to identify as a student with a disability? Your status, where will you be living? Fill it out as if you're living away. Like if you are planning to live away in September, but you're not quite sure yet, then fill it out as living away. If that needs to be changed, either way, so maybe you decided to stay at home, but you then decide to move away as it gets closer to school because you found out you got other people going to that same school, we can make those changes for you. And that's when you would contact the financial aid office. About your family is all about your parents. If you're a dependent student, we're going to ask a bunch of questions about your parents. And then there's the submit section. At the top, it says the application is going to take you about 15 minutes. Please ignore that. Don't feel like you have to rush through OSAP. Each section, pay attention. There's hyperlinks. You can kind of see them there where it says more info. If you get stuck, just stop, save the application, step back, go answer your question, come back, and then finish filling it out. Because once you submit all of that, you can't make changes to your OSAP anymore. They have to come through our office. So take your time, don't feel rushed. Once you've gone through those sections, you'll get to the review. So make sure you check, make sure everything is done. You got all those lovely check marks there. You can then click review and submit. Like I mentioned, if you're unsure, step away, come back and finish it out. Once you click submit, those changes now can only come through the financial aid office. But once you hit review and submit, that means now it'll transmit into our financial aid office for us to see that information. The print and complete all of those documents, that is the next step. So if you want to take the OSAP, you would then finish out all of the paperwork, the signature pages for you and your parents, that master financial agreement. So MSFAA is the bank information. So you would create an account with National Student Loans, and that's the agency that would deposit your funding, as well as the agency you would be repaying when you go into that part. So take your time. That's the main thing with OSAP. If you get stuck, you can contact a financial aid office. I would have loved to show you all of the screens, but time is of the essence. So we're just going to keep plowing through. Once you select the estimate, this is what it looks like. Once you've clicked that review, submit, it'll run its process, and here's your funding summary. The main points here is to note that you don't have to take the loan. So if you look at this and you go, oh, those grants are sufficient, 6,800 in grants, I have a scholarship, I'm in a good spot, you can opt to not take the loan. The loan doesn't disappear, it simply puts it on hold. You can remove the option later into the year because you're making that decision for no loan maybe in August. But in January, you're experiencing hardship. You can go back in and remove that, and the loan will be released to you. The three things at the bottom are very important. So that's your total OSAP, that 14,000. But what you want to note is it's released in a 60-40 split. So they give you a little bit more in the fall because you have all those startup kind of things going on than they do in the winter. So you have to budget accordingly. The school is paid first. So if you have a balance due here, Trent gets paid first. The difference will then go into your bank account, and you're responsible for your school fees. So you have to make sure that you're logging in, you're checking the status of your OSAP. You're also checking the status of your account here at Trent to make sure that all your fees are paid in its entirety. And if not, why not? What happened? Maybe your OSAP was on hold or you're not registered, but you want to be responsible for that. Other sources or resources to consider. You can see there's quite a few of them on there. An RESP, that's your Registered Education Savings Plan. If you're fortunate enough to have one of those, you want to start chatting with your parents now about them. A summer job, you're going to look at the Career Center, Scholar Trees, Scholarships Canada, Wyconic, Grant Me, higheredpoints.com, Disability Awards. Take a picture of this. All of those are external opportunities. So different companies want to offer money to schools or to students. They now have databases to do that. So you create an account and you just start applying for them. It's a wonderful thing. The Higher Ed Points is a little bit different. You can trade in, I think it's Aeroplan points, to get some assistance with your tuition or national student loans when you're repaying. Amy's nodding. It's a newer one for us, but some schools participate in this. Trent does, so definitely log on and check that out. The guidance office, if you're coming from high school, your guidance department has a lot of this information as well. They know of local opportunities. The hands is one of my favorite. That's gifts and contributions from your parents. So you need to have that conversation. You can't just drop a bomb on your parent that you need, $5,000 for rent. Maybe chat with them. Are they going to help you out with groceries? Maybe give you an allowance of sort every month. Do you have a birthday coming up? Get some gift cards for groceries. Get the bookstore, gas if you're commuting, especially gas now, like holy. But that's the great one, is you can start to get that stuff together. You're going into post-secondary and you're going to have a huge bill coming up. Start planning ahead for that. The student line of credit, that's done through the bank. So try OSAP first. If that's unsuccessful for you, you can then look at a student line of credit. It's a little bit more. You have to have a cosigner. The repayment options are very different compared to OSAP, the interest. So if you are considering a line of credit, shop around, see what the options are, but talk to us and talk to about OSAP and such first. Look at those other opportunities. So I've kind of already touched on all of this, how to prepare. You're doing it now. It's awesome. You're sitting here on a Saturday listening to me chat with you. Check out OSAP, create a budget, start having those conversations with your parents, look at all the external opportunities, be mindful of how you spend. Now is a great time. Get a budget app on your phone. I know I have a 17-year-old daughter. She shops on Amazon, and then all of a sudden she realizes, holy crap, I spent a lot of money on Amazon. You guys just don't see it until you log in now. So do that and chat with the financial aid office. Whatever school you're entertaining, if it's Trent, you get Amy and I, yay. You can email us. You can pop into our office now that we're starting to get back to that in person, and just come chat, see what's going on, and we'll help guide you through it, because we don't want you stressed. We want you sitting in class and studying and not stressed about money. Take a picture of this. This is all our contact information for our office. You can also see our website there. And like I said, don't stress about it. Money is a hard topic to talk about, but you can come and chat with us. We're very friendly and we want you to be successful and not stressed about money. So that is it. I know Amy's been busy in the chat. So I'm just wondering, is there anything you would like from me, Amy? Any questions? We have about 5 minutes if there's any specific ones that we want to address.
Nothing really popped up.
Perfect.
Oh, we have one that just came out. Tiffany posting. Just like, oh, there's a message. Yeah, no, everybody's pretty well
perfect
quiet.
So some of the main points is the OSAP application for you guys for students starting in 2022 will not open until May. So that's one of the big things to know. You can go and you can do the estimator now, but that application will not open until then. Someone asked, deadline over, are there other scholarships international? So unfortunately, I don't work with the international office. They have their own scholarship program, their own bursary program. So we only deal with domestic undergraduate students. So you can definitely pop over to the general chat and they can probably answer that question there for you. But yeah. So we're very excited. We're so glad that everybody is here. I'm 30 participants. So that's pretty awesome for us. I know our topic can be a little dry, but we try our best to make sure that you guys are getting all the information, and do reach out to us if you have any questions at all. If you're heading to another session, if you got one at 10:30, feel free to leave. I'm not going to keep you here. Go stretch your legs, get a drink, and head off to your next session and enjoy the rest of your day.